Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox, and we have breaking news. This is important. Michael Matheson has quit. He's finally gone. I did the video this morning where I speculated that this would be the final straw, and lo, it came to pass. You heard it here first, folks. He has gone. Humza Yousaf will now have to go and find a new health secretary. Matheson, of course, he's inept at his job. The health service has got worse since he took over. But then there was the attempted fraud. There was the lying. There was the degeneracy of what is probably on his iPad. There is him throwing his children under the bus. There are all the lies. And it's finally amounted to the fact that after months and months of pressure, months and months of him not giving up his job, he's finally been forced to quit. Presumably, the findings of the report were so bad that new revelations were in there that he knew his position was untenable. So we're going to take a look at this. But yes, he has gone. And I said he would. I am good. Here goes. So Michael Matheson finally quits as Health Secretary after the iPad data roaming scandal. His Moroccan fondling has finally caught up with him, and he can go home now and explain to the wife why he preferred to do that than be with her in that hotel room in Morocco, because undoubtedly that's what it is. All this BS about his kids watching football is just that. The SNP minister has finally quit his Scottish Government role after an independent probe was launched into his £11,000 data roaming bill, with Humza Yousaf left embarrassed after refusing to sack him. Humza Yousaf stood by him time and time again, would not fire him, and said, no, I have complete confidence in him. And now he's had to go because of the revelations of that report, which goes to show what a lack of leadership Humza Yousaf has shown, and what a complete buffoon he is to think he could trust someone that has lied repeatedly. But it is the SNP way. Matheson has finally quit his role as Health Secretary over his iPad data roaming bill scandal. It's another embarrassment for Humza Yousaf, who repeatedly refused to sack his close friend, despite many and growing calls to do so. You have to wonder at what point you do get fired. Is it the lies? Is it the fraud? Is it just being completely useless at your job and not capable of being the health secretary? There's so many to choose from. An independent parliamentary probe was launched into the SNP minister after he attempted to charge taxpayers £11,000 for a data bill he racked up while he was on a festive holiday to Morocco. Let's call it for what it is: attempted fraud. For days he claimed it was all on parliamentary business. Of course, that was a lie, and he was forced to humiliatingly admit that his kids had used the data to watch Scottish football, throwing his children under the bus to save his worthless career. A career that now lies in tatters, and with a potential breakup of his marriage. After all, what woman would look at a man who would do that to her children? We previously told how the investigation had produced damning new evidence, and he has now quit. The Daily Record reports that he's now left the role, and that's no problem at all. I think we all knew he had to go, and we've known some time that he was untenable in the position. He had to go, but for some reason wouldn't, refused, kept there. Money. Grasping, greedy, grifting money. It's all he's got. Matheson faced claims that he lied to journalists over the incident, which he did, as he told them days before confessing his kids used it that there was no personal use on holiday. The Parliament's governing corporate body ordered an internal investigation at the height of the row, with this being given to him this week. Scottish Liberal Democrat leader and health spokesperson Alex Cole-Hamilton MSP said, "Our health service is on its knees. Patients are waiting an age for treatment and staff are overworked on every shift. They all deserve better than an SNP minister who's lost their trust and can no longer focus on his day job. From Humza Yousaf to Michael Matheson, our NHS has only known crisis, soaring vacancies and even longer waits. Their NHS recovery plan has failed." And then he's trying to push the Lib Dems. Who cares about that? But he is right, it has fails. But this is a breaking, brand new story. It will grow. I'm just going to flick across and see if the record has got an updated version of it. Come on. And see if they've got any more information. It's a live story. This is how fresh it is. Yes, blah, 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 blah. He's saying it's football, blah, 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 the corporate body. It's all the same. I think it's the same, more or less the same story. In his resignation... Oh, we do actually have the resignation statement here. He wrote, and this is his resignation statement. He says, having requested that the Scottish Parliament corporate body review my data roaming charges last year, I am conscious that this process will conclude in the coming weeks. He says, I have still not received the findings of their review. However, it is in the best interest of myself and the government for me to now step down to ensure this does not become a distraction to taking forward the government's agenda. He did not apologise for the row and said he would offer Yousaf full support from the backbenches. So he's not even apologising for the attempted fraud against the taxpayer. He's not apologising for the lies. He's not apologising for his failure to address the NHS issues. And he's certainly not apologising for being a low-life piece of scum who would readily blame his own failings on his children to save his worthless carcass. What a sad excuse for a miserable human being. What a waste of skin that man truly is. Matheson is an ally of Yousaf, and his departure creates a vacancy for the Health Secretary, the highest spending department in government. Scottish Labour leader Jackie Bailey said, while I welcome the news that Matheson has finally gone, the fact is the First Minister has big questions to answer over his lack of judgment. While our NHS is in crisis, she said, Humza Yousaf has shown weakness by putting the SNP before our NHS. Now more than ever, we need a health minister focused on the crisis at hand. The only problem is, and I'm going to round off here and we'll come up, but the only problem is, who have they got? There's people so low in talent. They've got such a talentless bunch. No one can do a job. They're all useless. It's no wonder the country's on its knees. But at least he can now go off, grab the iPad. Now he's going to have to return the iPad, won't he? He's no longer a minister. That iPad will have to go back. And that'll be handed over. And I hope that somebody does inspect it, just to make sure it was just football. Although we know it probably wasn't. It was probably something very, very degenerate. Which is why he was so keen to pay it quickly, in case it was examined. Anyway, there we go. Great news. He's gone. Finally, he's gone. Never have to report on that fondling old tosser ever again. Unless he sort of pipsqueaks up at the back. Anyway, coming up, and we'll round off. Yousaf is not having a good week, is he? That's 2 ministers in 2 days. I wonder who's going to go tomorrow. I know who I want to go, but hey, but it's all falling apart for him, isn't it? Everything is breaking. He's got 2 ministers gone, and then Christine Graham today rebelling. The man is not in charge, is he? He's not a leader. He's keeping the seat warm. Now is the time, I think, for Kate Forbes to make her push, her charge, and get rid of that oaf from office and have a new First Minister and get rid of the Greens. More on them later. Anyway, I'm so happy to bring... I tell you what, it's been a cracking day, hasn't it? It's been an absolutely cracking day. We've had some brilliant stories. Bad polls, and now he's gone. And you wonder what's coming next. Tell you what, I hope you are hitting that subscribe button, because it is all go. It's all go, and you won't want to miss it. So do please hit the subscribe button and join me as we push on. Happy in the knowledge that we're winning. Common sense at last. Till next time, stay safe, stay well. I will keep an eye on this story, and bye.